Got a 13th level halfling fighter thief. Got 7 hit die on the backstab. Sometimes you know it's good to be a geek.
Good evening, wrestling fans. It is February the 17th, 2003, and it is the Wrestling Buddies back again for the... And you know what, guys? February 17th, Sunday, February the 17th, that can only mean one thing, Dave the Killswitch, and that is that it's Elimination Chamber Day.
Elimination Chamber tonight. Oh, I can't wait. What do you say, Wrestling Wiki Jerry?
I'm excited.
That's about as much as you'll ever get out of him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is the day of the Elimination Chamber, and in honor of that, we're going to play an Elimination Chamber match and have a little discussion on our opinions of what we're expecting from tonight's pay-per-view. Just to lay out what's going on here, I, Bryan Keith, will be playing as Randy Orton. Killswitch Dave will be playing Chris Jericho. And Jerry the Wrestling Wiki will be playing Mark Henry, and everyone else is computer-controlled.
Yep. What's important is that I'm Mark Henry.
We'll see how important that's going to turn out to be in this match tonight. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this underway, ladies and gentlemen. And in the meantime, while this is booting up, we're gonna ask some questions about everybody. We're gonna talk down our 4 top matches of tonight, and we're gonna start out with Team Cena versus The Shield. What are you guys expecting out of this match tonight, Jerry?
I'm expecting to be pretty good, actually. I mean, The Shield's first match back in December against Kane, Daniel Bryan, and The Ryback was probably one of the better matches of 2012 for WWE. And probably one of the better debut matches that we've had in a while. Whoa, wait a minute. I was not prepared for this.
I'll take over from there. I'll help you add to that point. But yes, as most of you probably remember, the Shield. This is actually the Shield's only second match in WWE. But they had a great showing at TLC 2012, and many would say kind of stole the show with their match. And I think what we're getting at here, Killswitch Dave, is that even though we're pretty sure Team Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback are going to win, I expect great things out of the Shield tonight, and I'm sure you agree with that.
I absolutely agree. I have been very impressed with what I've seen from the Shield, not only from an entertainment standpoint, but that only match we saw was a phenomenal match against a team that was supposed to basically run through the Shield like they were nothing.
And instead, the Shield look as dominant as ever, and I expect them to look pretty dominant tonight, even if they end up coming up short.
I would have to agree with that.
I do want to point out, I think there is a possibility they will win tonight. It's just that neither Cena or Ryback will probably take the pinfall loss.
Yeah, because at this point, Sheamus doesn't really have anything to lose, I don't think.
I think Sheamus is the expendable one. Cena is probably going to be held really strong up to WrestleMania 29 and probably beyond.
I would agree with that.
This is probably going to be his rebound year of glory, if you really want to call it a rebound year.
I guess
kayfabe-wise, I guess you can.
Yes, definitely. And, of course, it goes without saying that, when you look at the Shield and you've got guys like Seth Rollins, who I've been following back into his ROH days, and while I haven't followed NXT as much as I'd like to, I hear nothing but how great Dean Ambrose is. And Roman Reigns, originally I wasn't that big on him, just because by nature I'm not as, into the bigger wrestlers. But, I feel like he's got some charisma about him, and I think he could show something, but we'll see. Moving on to the next big match of the night, we've got Alberto Del Rio defending the World Heavyweight Championship versus The Big Show tonight. And Wrestling Wiki Jerry, we're coming off of Del Rio's, I would say, fairly successful face turn in the past few weeks.
It has really extended his marketability, especially to Latinos, obviously. I was really giving up on Del Rio until the face turn.
But also it occurs to me that I'm getting my ass kicked by Kane.
Oh, by the way, yeah, the chamber let you out. I just didn't tell you.
Hey, we're having a good conversation. This is important stuff we're talking about.
Del Rio's face turn has really rejuvenated him, not just character-wise, but I would think match quality-wise. He's been having some really good matches, especially against Ziggler on Main Event recently.
I still am mad that I didn't get a chance to see that sooner, because I've heard that match was absolutely outstanding.
They killed it, and it makes me want to see future Ziggler-Del Rio matches in the future.
Well, as you all know, I'm a huge Dolph Ziggler fan, so I always expect nothing but great things from him, and am disappointed time after time. So for him to have a classic against Alberto Del Rio, that was just phenomenal. And Alberto Del Rio has really rejuvenated himself, as you said, Jerry. And I really appreciate the fact that they could do a successful face turn, for Alberto Del Rio.
Especially since he's not exactly a character that one, thinks face.
Oh no, absolutely
But
not.
they've tweaked it enough to make it satisfactory.
It's believable.
Yes.
Definitely so. As I'm getting in a full Nelson here by Mark Henry, and I'm not having any of that. But I'm going to go deal with Daniel Bryan for a bit. Yeah, but going on with another interesting point with Del Rio is ever since he had his face turn, I'm finding that the cross arm breaker is suddenly looking like a much more viable finishing move. Like these days, when an opponent gets trapped in that hold, they're tapping out immediately, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's much like the original cross arm breaker when he first came out with it. It was kind of that same thing where it was as soon as he locked it in, guys were tapping out. So
yeah, I really like that just because we all know from watching other venues of entertainment, the cross arm breaker is a legit hold.
Oh yeah,
and there is no realistic 4 or 5 minute struggle. That hold put on and you're done. Don't get me wrong, it's pro wrestling. I understand that there's allowed to be struggle. But I just love the fact that this finishes it once it's on, you're done. There's no escaping, there's no fighting, you're just done. I really like that.
That is great, and I think that again, I don't think the importance of that can be understated because I feel like that's had a lot to do with why Del Rio suddenly looks like a much more viable threat. While we're moving on to that, now that we've covered that, now we're up to the point of what we're doing here tonight. And what we're talking about is the Elimination Chamber match to determine the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 29. Of course, that featuring Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, Kane, and a very resurgent and much seemingly with a new fire under his belly, Jack Swagger.
Yeah, right now it seems like he has more fire. They have him with Dutch Mantel as his manager under the name Zeb Coulter right now doing some type of Tea Party type gimmick for lack of better explanation.
Very much they took my guns and gerbs American type approach, really.
Pretty much. I'm going to need to see that longer. It makes me a little bit worried that they're going to have him win the Chamber and have him be the one who faces Del Rio at Mania, which I'm not exactly sure I'm all in favor of just yet. But with that being said, I think it comes down to me, it's either going to be Orton or Henry who's going to win the Chamber, at least in my opinion.
I actually kind of disagree with that. I feel like they've done a lot to help build Chris Jericho back up. I wouldn't be surprised, given that the long-running feud that Jericho and Swagger have had, especially given that Swagger, storyline-wise anyway, was effectively responsible for Chris Jericho losing his career and his contract. Well, not his career, but his contract at least.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested to see Chris Jericho get. Sorry, excuse me, I had to reverse that.
I understand.
Ironically enough, Chris Jericho and Jack Swagger are kind of having it out right here.
If anyway you were saying.
But, yeah, I'm really interested to see Chris Jericho back in the wrestling ring and do phenomenal things. I've always been a fan of Chris Jericho.
You are a diehard Jerichoholic. I do know that.
Yes, I am.
And the short time he's been back, he's had some great matches so far.
Another classic with Punk just last week.
And a very good match with Daniel Bryan recently. But I'm glad Jerry's in the Chamber. I think he's going to do great in the Chamber. I just don't see him winning it. I just don't think him with a title match is in the cards for Mania. I would like it, but I think it's going to be more likely Henry and Orton.
Between those two, the final two, you mean?
Honestly,
that's what we shall see.
It would also probably depend on if Ziggler cashes in, which is something I think you want to talk about also.
Yes, it is.
Because I think Del Rio opponent options are different than Ziggler opponent options.
I could definitely agree with that. And I would not be surprised in the slightest if Ziggler wins, because I feel like for all that Ziggler has accomplished this year, they owe him a main event world title match.
Problem is ever since Ziggler beat Cena at TLC, which was a great match, don't get me wrong, and a good win for Ziggler, he's been pretty much coming off like ass ever since. He lost to Cena a gazillion times. It was really only 2 or 3, but it felt like a gazillion.
It really did.
Lost to Del Rio in what was a great match. Has lost to Kane. Really just hasn't really done anything of real significance other than lose and lose more. I mean, if WWE seemed to be in that habit sometime, but if he's going to be a future world title holder, I should feel like you should be building him up with more credibility than you actually have been.
Yeah, it really seems like he's kind of been, a jobber to the stars, to use the phrase, if I may. Because it just seems like all we ever do is see him have great matches and lose. Although at the same time, I remember when Edge cashed in the Money in the Bank for the first time, all those years ago. I seem to recall him being on something of a losing streak as well at the time, being frustrated at not being able to win the title. And then as soon as he won the title, he had all the momentum in the world. So
and he lost it a month later.
Okay, you know what? I just got called out, and that is absolutely right that did happen.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to feel like the Money in the Bank is going to be their way of saying, Ziggler won this champion, but he's only champion because he had Money in the Bank and he only win by fluke. Yeah. That's what it feels like to me.
And you know what? I think we've opened up a much more important discussion of the fact that at the end of the day, WWE has had this bad habit of late of, of not letting heels, just legitimately look like heels. Because it's like, it seems like these days they make it so a heel only wins by, cheating tactics. I mean, yeah, that's part of the definition of a heel. But, as Mark Henry has shown, you can be a heel and just beat the living hell out of anybody. Well, as you're doing right now, actually.
There is more than one type of heel.
Oh, of course.
I mean, Mark Henry is obviously the monster, I'm going to wreck your crap heel. And thank God he is, because he's so awesome in that role. But, yeah, overall, faces can win clean, but a lot of times, unless you're a Mark Henry or Big Show, they seem to really go the way of saying the heel cannot win without outside interference or illegal object or shenanigans from the pagan gods of yore. I mean, it's kind of frustrating after a while, and it really makes a huge credibility gap and future opponents and future matches.
You know what? And I think it's a case of and
man, you guys just don't like Mark Henry.
Well, you know what? Right now, I don't like Jericho too much either. So let's have some fun with Chris Jericho, I say.
Of course.
Or maybe not. Maybe not. But that being said, it's and even going back to like, what the heck? I don't know what that was. I think that just broke our entire conversation. I don't understand what we just saw.
We'll unbreak the conversation.
Okay, fair enough. We'll move on, and because again, and as Mark Henry and Lesnar proved, there's a lot of different kind of heels. Like, they kind of seem like they make every heel out to be like Daniel Bryan when he was a heel. He did whatever he had to survive, and for him that worked. But it seems like that's the only kind of heel they try to build anymore. As I try to break out of this abdominal stretch here.
And I'm not even going to waste my time. But, with that being said, it's 50-50 Ziggler cashes in on night. Every other time I've thought Ziggler's going to cash in, he hasn't. So I'm really beyond trying to predict when he's going to do it.
I can see that. Any input on that point for you, Dave?
I'm going to say he's actually going to wait for Mania for that, just because that's what I want to see. I want
to see a Mania cash in.
Yes. I've been waiting for that since they created Money in the Bank.
I'm going to come out and say it. I don't want a Mania cash in. I don't like the idea. I'm sorry. I think if someone wins the title at Mania, they should walk out WrestleMania as the champion. And they don't. I mean, we've had precedent with Hulk Hogan beating Yokozuna after he beat Bret Hart, and in retrospect, nobody likes it.
It's one of those things that as a kid you liked, but then you grow up and it's like, that was dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, it works better with the Money in the Bank. I just don't want to see it at Mania. Unless, of course, they use it to set up a match at Mania, and that's completely different.
And the Code Breaker by Jericho.
I think hey! I was
actually going for Jericho.
I was going to let you two do your thing, and...
Well, targeting system, what are you going to do?
Talked about something else.
Yes,
that's what we're going to do.
The WWE Championship match between CM Punk and The Rock.
Punk Rock 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yes, absolutely. That was a match that I think was really, a lot of fun at the Royal Rumble, but it had some missteps, namely involving that table spot they attempted. What are you guys thinking we're going to see tonight in Punk Rock 2, the second go-around?
I think they showed at Royal Rumble they work pretty well together. I'm not exactly sure what else they can do tonight that they did at the Rumble, other than, The Rock probably winning against Punk again, which, unless they throw a huge screwball...
Nice counter, by the way.
Unless they throw a huge screwball, that's the only ending I see tonight, is Rock beating Punk, because at this point, I think Rock Cena 2 is a 100% foregone conclusion.
At this point, I would agree with that.
But at the same time, I feel like... At the same time, I don't know if, Rock beating Punk clean at this point, really does anything either. So Rock's going to win. I just haven't wrapped my brain on how everything's going to go down.
I would kind of like to see it be a clean match, but I know I probably won't get that. Dave, while you're probably about to make me tap out, any input on that?
Actually, very little, surprisingly. I expect a good match, and I'm excited to see where they go with a second match between those two guys.
Like I said, as Jerry put it best, they worked really well together, I thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm expecting a good match. Maybe possibly great. But there's going to be some shenanigans tonight. Maybe the return of Taker, maybe Brock Lesnar. Maybe Cena will add his 2 cents in. Maybe Cena will decide he wants to determine who he faces at Mania. Who knows?
And there's any way to put it, definitely. But I think we've reached the end of our discussion on the Chamber, so there's nothing left to do but take care of business here.
Yep. I think I'm going to take care of business right now. I'm going to pin Orton.
All right, I'm going to let that happen.
No, you're not.
Apparently it didn't happen.
That's a STO for Mark Henry in both cases. And Orton is bloodied, and he is not looking good.
Yeah, he's not looking like he's having a wonderful time. Come on, Mark Henry. You're my pick. You're my pick. Don't disappoint me. I'll help you out.
All right, we're going to have a big double gutbuster. Nice. Ooh, 2 signature moves.
Oh, really?
Yep. Life's not fair, Dave.
You know what?
Boom!
You know what? Chris Jericho hates all of you.
I believe it. Yes, he can. And now you got pissed off Mark Henry.
You could have just said Mark Henry.
you done Mark
Unfortunately,
Henry.
Fortunately for you, he hates Canadians.
No!
Oh!
What did I just tell you?
That's what he gets from
finisher. Oh my!
I hate people from Winnipeg. Unfortunately for you,
no!
I'm Mark Henry.
I should have just Ortoned that because...
What does that mean? You Ortoned that.
I should have gone with...
It means he hears voices in his head.
Attempting that on Orton because Orton...
And they all tell him that using the walls of Jericho Mark Henry was a bad idea.
Yep.
I didn't listen. I wouldn't listen.
You fool. You poor, insignificant fool. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Yay! That actually worked, I think, sort of, maybe. I don't know.
like
I can never tell. Going for walls of Jericho.
Now that's
what
I want.
Is he going to get it?
Orton should tap out.
I think Orton will tap out, or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Submissions are hard to get in this game.
They really are. You really have to wear your opponent down for them to be any kind of effectiveness, And we're almost to the end here, because rope breaks don't matter in this match.
Yeah.
We're going to muscle our way out of
They're
that.
like the points in whose line is it anyway.
Or Jerry points.
No.
We
Jerry
don't
points.
know about Jerry points, but they don't matter either.
We discussed them last episode, actually.
Oh, did we?
Yes. Jerry points don't matter. Which is funny, because some of you guys really like to collect them.
Yep. I do. No.
Well, I guess everybody's allowed their pointless thing to collect. Hey, you guys take care of that. I'm just going to go out here.
And I totally hit B. I don't know why I'm not pinning you, but okay.
Yeah,
I did the exact same thing. I hit B to pin and it picked you up.
Let's try that one more time.
Did you get him?
3.
Congratulations. Here's your prize.
Here's my reward.
Now for your reward.
Yeah, you probably...
It could be worse. Ooh.
It's worse.
How did
RKO! Oh my god, it might be over. It might be over, ladies and gentlemen. He hooks the leg.
No! Because
how many finishers have you been hit with now?
I don't know.
Well, he's been hit with a code breaker at least twice. He's been hit with at least 2 RKOs. I've had him in the walls of Jericho.
Now you're just going to go for pins because...
And it's still not enough.
Dang. Uh-oh. High risk.
Orton's going to that place.
And Orton completely missed.
Did you stun yourself?
I apparently stunned myself.
I was waiting for you to pin me after that.
And we're going to go with a big belly to back suplex on Mark Henry.
Damn.
And a Rufez press. Boom, boom, boom.
On that bloody head.
Come on.
And a big neck breaker.
I can't even get a move off right now.
And we're going to do the Orton style backbreaker. Vintage Orton.
So now I guess we're
Shut
going
up, Cole. Oh! What a close line. Good God.
You know what? Screw this.
I've been working on his legs, but apparently not enough. Wait.
Come on, Mark Henry. Make me proud. Make me proud.
Wait.
Make me proud. Come on, breaking point. Shoot up. Shoot up.
It's moving.
Oh,
but too slow.
Not having it. Not yet.
Yeah, I can tell. Oh, I thought I blocked that.
RKO.
Going for the pin again.
Maybe this time you'll get it.
Let's go for
A
it.
third RKO.
Nope, because I'm Mark Henry. By the way, that's my excuse for everything I do in life. Don't do my homework, I'm Mark Henry. Don't eat my vegetables, I'm Mark Henry. You know.
Are you going to tell Mark Henry he can or can't do something?
Okay, I have to admit this is getting a little annoying.
It's amusing the heck out of me.
All right, we're going to go for it. Looks like it's going to be a big suplex here.
Yeah,
yes, because that totally could happen.
This game's realism impresses me to a high degree. Uh-oh.
Go with the top rope again with a big knee
there
drop.
It is.
You got it. That was a nice knee drop.
That was a nice knee drop. We'll go for the pin.
Well, you were going for the pin. I can't get an offensive maneuver in to save my life.
But you can kick out of everything.
Yeah, I guess that's my superpower. My superpower is a 2 count.
Neck breaker.
He's a muppet.
Crazy Orton is crazy.
Dang it. Like, I've been getting beat up for 5 minutes without an offensive maneuver. Uh-oh. An offensive maneuver? Yes! It's a miracle! And you know what? Oh, is that that is a submission.
Oh.
Of course, that's not going to work.
There we go.
STO? Oh, that ain't good.
Oh, another
Well,
RKO.
that should probably do it.
I would think.
Or not, because I'm Mark Henry.
Okay, I have to admit this is getting a little ridiculous, I think.
Well, you know, we can solve this quite easily.
No, we're not doing. I'm not jobbing for you.
How did you know that I was going to suggest?
Because you're Jerry. That's how.
I accept that answer. Well, here. I'll start going for pin attempts. I was about to say, right?
I was going to say, this is incredibly crap.
I was gonna say if a little tiny bit.
now you're being a bitch.
If the STO works after how many RKOs?
Hey, at least I didn't STO you again.
I was ready for it. DDT. I'm a Muppet.
I gotta say, it was refreshing hitting 3 STOs after that getting no offense forever.
Another RKO.
That's like 5 now.
What can I say? I'm beast.
It's
I waited
over.
for 1 count before I started.
Okay, well that I do appreciate that.
Well, this much longer edition of this episode is now over because Mark Henry doesn't like losing, apparently.
Apparently not. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber and is the #1 contender, at least in digital video game land.
Fortunately, it won't happen because Mark Henry is going to win tonight.
My girlfriend will have some words about that. But
yeah, she's not my girlfriend.
Fact.
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that brings the Elimination Chamber special to a conclusion. Enjoy the Elimination Chamber, and we'll see y'all next week.
Somebody's going to get their ass kicked.
Somebody's going to get their wig split.
How do you split a wig?
Got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. walls start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior,